All right, let's talk about something that's totally flipping the script on education: gamification. It's this really cool tool that can take pretty much any lesson and turn it into something, well, unforgettable. So we're going to dive in and see exactly how it all works.
I mean, just think about this for a second. What if learning felt less like sitting through a lecture and more like you were the main character in your own epic quest? That right there, that's the whole idea behind gamification.
Okay, so before we jump into the fun stuff, we've got to lay down the rules of the game. First things first, what is gamification really?
At its heart, it's all about using game design principles in places where you really wouldn't expect them, like a classroom. And let's be super clear, this isn't about playing video games in class. Not at all. It's about borrowing the mechanics that make games so compelling. You know, things like points, badges, and quests, and applying them to academic stuff to really get people motivated and engaged.
So this is basically the gamification toolkit. You've got your experience points, or XP, that you earn for doing things. Then there are badges, which are like these cool visual high fives for mastering a skill. Levels give you that awesome sense of progression. And quests, well, they turn boring old assignments into exciting challenges. And the glue holding it all together? Narratives. A great story gives the whole learning journey a real sense of purpose.
Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in a real classroom? Let's dive into our first quest, a gamified lesson on a topic that, let's face it, we all need to know about: cybersecurity.
The whole setup here is just brilliant. Students aren't just, learning about phishing. No way. Their mission is to become a digital hero. They have to defend an entire virtual city from cyber threats. Right away, that gives their work a sense of urgency and a real purpose.
And look at this. The lesson plays out just like a video game campaign. First, you meet the threat. Then you go on quests to identify attacks, build up your defenses, like creating strong passwords, and even roleplay how you'd respond to a real hack. It all builds up to this final boss battle, where the whole team has to work together to stop a major simulated attack.
And of course, your progress gets rewarded. Spotting a fake email isn't just getting an answer right, it earns you the Threat Tracker badge and 100 XP. And winning that final simulation, that doesn't just mean the lesson is over. It means your team gets to claim the epic Cyber Commander trophy. Every single action has a clear, immediate, and super satisfying reward.
But gamification isn't just for high-tech topics. For our second quest, let's see how it can take a standard science lesson, like the water cycle, and transform it into an amazing story.
Now in this example, the story is everything. Students are tasked with guiding this little water droplet, Mizu-chan, on a journey all across Japan. It's such a simple idea, but it totally changes the game. Abstract concepts like evaporation suddenly become a personal adventure.
Check out this quest map. It ties each stage of the water cycle to a real place in Japan and a unique badge. So, you learn about evaporation while you're at Mount Fuji, and you earn the Sunlight Seeker badge. Science, geography, rewards, it's all woven together perfectly.
The activities themselves are now quests. So instead of just reading about condensation, students are actually doing a hands-on experiment. Instead of just memorizing the word precipitation, they get to role play as raindrops. It's active, it's creative, and it all leads to a final boss battle puzzle where they have to connect everything they've just learned.
So, we've seen a couple of really cool examples, but now we get to the most important question. Why does this stuff work so well? What's the real payoff here?
Well, the benefits are huge. It's a massive motivation boost for one. It taps into our desire for rewards like points, but also our natural love of just solving a tricky problem. Engagement obviously goes through the roof. It also lets students move at their own pace. And, like we saw with the cybersecurity example, it's a fantastic way to encourage collaboration.
But beyond just motivation, there's a real cognitive edge. Our memories are just better when we're emotionally invested in a story. Our critical thinking skills get a serious workout during those problem-solving quests. But honestly, the most powerful benefit might be how it helps build a growth mindset. And this is the real game changer. Think about it. On a normal test, a wrong answer just feels final. It's a red mark. But in a game, when you fail a level, what do? You try again. You learn from your mistakes, you change your strategy, and you dive back in. Failure is reframed as just part of the loop. It's a necessary step on the way to truly mastering something.
So, when you boil it all down, all of these elements, the quests, the badges, the stories, they all serve one single powerful goal:
to create a classroom full of learners who are engaged, who are motivated, and who feel totally empowered.
And that really leaves us with one last exciting question. If pretty much any subject can be transformed into an engaging game, what's the next great learning adventure that's waiting to be built? And maybe more importantly, what game will we choose to play next?